Hello BookTube, my name is Adrian and welcome back to my channel. So I'm sitting in the floor of my living room with my puppy over here as well as wet hair because I just got out of the shower. I thought I was going to be able to film this video tonight after I had done my hair, makeup, all that, actually have a presentable video for you guys. And now we're not going to be here this afternoon. We're not going to be home this afternoon, so I can't film the video. So instead, I'm just going to take the opportunity to film it now. My kids are asleep. And what I have for you today is my June TBR. I have the whole stack of books over the corner here next to me. And I've decided that every month I'm trying to do a theme with my TBRs. And this month, my theme is finishing series. I have a bunch of books that I, haven't read that are part of series, or basically rounding out series, finishing them, or getting caught up before the next book comes out. So that's what June's theme is. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 books, I believe, if I counted right. 9 books, my bad. I have 9 books here to show you guys that I'm hoping to read this month, which I want to say sounds like a lot, but I've already read more than that this month already, so clearly it's not that crazy that I could potentially get through all of these. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this video so that I can hopefully get it done before my kids wake up. So the first book that I want to show you is One Dark Throne by Kendar Blake. This is the sequel to Three Dark Crowns by, obviously, Kendar Blake. Most of these books are sequels, obviously, so I can't really tell you what this book specifically is about. But the first book in the series is about triplet girls who are all set to be queen, and the premise is that they are all taken, each one is taken by a different faction with a power. So elementals, animal control, poisons, things like that, and they are trained in order to eventually fight their sisters to the death, and whichever one is left standing at the end will become the new queen. So Three Dark Crowns was the build up to that, kind of getting to know all the characters and their powers and kind of the drama of what's happening, and then One Dark Throne is the sequel to that. So I really enjoyed Three Dark Crowns. I was completely shocked by the ending, and I really wanted to get into this book now, but I just haven't gotten the chance yet. So this is the first book on my TBR for June. It's a signed copy. I was super excited to find this at Walmart, which blew my mind. So this is my first book on my TBR. The next 2 books on my TBR are Miss Mayhem and Lady Renegades, which are the last 2 books here in the Rebel Belle trilogy. I read Rebel Belle a while back, a long time ago, and then I reread it earlier this year, and Rebel Belle was a pretty good book. I did like it. I didn't love it, but I have these 2 books on my shelf, and I really feel like it's just time for me to finish this trilogy. So these are the next 2 books I'm definitely hoping to get to. If you do not know what the first book, Rebel Belle, is about, it is about a girl who is attacked one night by her history teacher, and through a series of real weird events ends up having paladin powers. And what her job becomes as a paladin is to protect a oracle who just happens to be not her favorite person. I really enjoyed the first book. I was kind of blown away by how it ended, and so I'm definitely interested to see how these go once I get into them. So these are the next 2 books on my TBR for June. So up next, I have some library books that I am trying to get caught up in. The next one that I have is Beneath the Sugar Sky by Shannon McGuire. I never know how to pronounce her first name. I have tried to read this book before, and I just couldn't really get into it at the time. It's a very, very short book. Everybody seems to really enjoy this book. I now have the audiobook of this as well, so I'm going to probably listen and read along with this book when it comes time to read it. So this is a book that I am hoping to get to. This is obviously the 3rd in the Wayward Children's Home series of companion novels. The first one being Every Heart a Doorway. The second is Down Among the Sticks and Bones. I liked both of them. I don't know which I preferred. They were both kind of like okay books, but they were interesting and intriguing, and so I definitely wanted to pick up this one because the premise of this one is interesting. I don't really want to tell you too much because I don't want to give a bunch away, but basically Every Heart a Doorway follows, because this book does have a little bit of spoilers for the first book. But the first book, Every Heart a Doorway, is about children who go through doorways into other realms, like Narnia style, kind of through the wardrobe kind of stuff. And this is a play, and the book takes place at a wayward children's home where they can come to kind of, when they are not accumulating back into real life once they have come back from their magical worlds. And something starts happening, and so I don't really want to give it away because I didn't know about that element of the story when I started, so I think that was kind of a surprise for me. But I definitely enjoyed those two books. They weren't my favorite things of all time, but I did like them, so I'm interested to see how this one carries on from the first, because I'm confused by the synopsis. But this is the fourth book I want to read this month. After that, I have two more library books, which are Under the Lights and After the Game by Abby Glines. These are the next two books in the Field Party series. The first one was Until Friday Night, which I really enjoyed reading earlier this year. And was it earlier this year? It might have been at the end of last year. Ooh, I think it was at the end of last year. Dang, it's been a while. Anyway, these are the next two books. There is a fourth book coming out in August, which I'm also really excited to get to when that comes out. But these are the next two, and so I'm very interested in these. These are all companion novels following different characters that we saw in the first book. The first book followed a boy and a girl who are both struggling independently with things in their lives and end up finding each other to kind of help each other cope with what's happening in their lives, and also as a result, form a relationship. These two books follow friends of the couple in the original book. So I am very interested to see what the stories are for these sets of couples. I don't know anything about these two couples, like in terms of, you know, who they are. I just know who the books are about. So these are the next two books I want to read in June. So the last three books are actually an entire trilogy. I have read the first two books, so these would be rereads, but the third book just came out this year and I am wanting to read it, but I feel like in order to do that I need to reread the first two because I haven't read them since they came out. So those books are A Study in Charlotte, The Last of August, and the new book, The Case for Jamie. If you do not know what these three books are about, they are about Jamie and Charlotte, who are descendants of Dr. Watson and Sherlock Holmes. Charlotte being Holmes and Jamie being Watson. They are actual descendants of Sherlock and Watson and have never met each other until they end up at the same boarding school and strike up a friendship. Kind of don't like each other very much, and then through a series of events they end up becoming suspects of a death of another student who dies under suspicious circumstances, and so they team up, of course, to try and solve the case. So that is what the first book is about. The other two continuations of the first story. So I really enjoyed A Study in Charlotte. I did not expect to love this book so much when I first read it because I got it as an ebook from my library and did not expect to fall in love with this book. And then I picked up The Last of August, really enjoyed that one as well. And now it's time to read The Case for Jamie. And I don't know anything about this one or how, you know, it's going to compare to the other ones. So I'm very excited to get to all three of these and reread them because it has been a while since I picked up the first two books. So those are the last three books that I am definitely wanting to get to in the month of June. So there you go, guys. That is all of the books that I'm hoping to read in the month of June. If you have read any of these books, I would love to know what your thoughts were on them. So comment down below and let me know. So with that, that's the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I post videos every Monday and Friday, so if you are interested in more of my content, come back and check me out then, or you can press subscribe down below and I will pop up in your subscription feed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.